Average rates of change. If you recall average, average is the total or sum of something divided by how many you were looking at. So if we want to think about an average rate of change, if I was traveling to Missoula, and let's suppose the distance I needed to travel was 60 miles, and the time it took was 1 hour. My average rate of change would be how far did I travel over how long it took me, or my average rate of change is 60 miles per hour. Well, when you think about average, when I was traveling to Missoula, I wasn't always going 60. I had to stop at a stoplight and so forth. So when we look at average, we have to be careful. It's how long it took me from beginning to end, how fast I was going on average, not at any given point in time. So if we look at this, I looked at how far I went, or the change in distance over the change in time. So if we want to take a look, here's another scenario of population per year. So if I wanted to know the average rate of change from beginning to end, I want to know how far did I change from year 1 in population to year 5. So if I looked at year 1 to year 5, and how much did I change by? Well, in the end I was at 21 and I started at 13, so I changed by 18. So my population changed by 18, and the time it took for that population to occur was 5 years. Year 6 minus year 1. It took 5 years for me to change by 18. And so when I look at that, whoops, that was 4 years it took. We better change that. Reading my coordinates here. So it took 4 years to change by 18 students. So that says, on average, I have a change of 4.5 students per year. Now, is that the case? Did that really happen in this change when I went from 3 students to 5 students, or I changed by 2 students in a matter of 1 year? Looks like my rate of change, which is much smaller. And then let's look at this rate of change. What's the average rate of change here between year 4 and year 5? In 1 year, I changed by 11 students. So that change was much larger and is also much larger than the average rate of change from beginning to end. So if we look at this graph, we can see that my average rate of this graph is not constant. It's not the same rate every time through, just as if I was traveling to Missoula. My rate isn't constant. So we have a limitation when we talk about this average rate. When we talk about an average, it's not likely to always grow or be as fast as my car is going by the same amount. So just as in this picture, our average was different at the end than it was at the beginning. So when we look at average, we're looking at the whole entire picture from beginning to end and not little pieces on its way through. But the average is how much change would I have per year per unit of time. Change per unit of time